So hello everyone, welcome to our first ever episode of BizCouch. Yes, so your go-to space for real talk, relatable stories, and also everything about our student life. Yes, so I'm Yuvana here, your host for today, and yes, before that, I would like to introduce myself. I'm the Director of Administrative, aka the Secretary of AIMST Business Club. Yes, so currently I'm a year two student of Accounting and Finance. Yes, and we are actually pretty much excited to start off this podcast with three more amazing people with me here. Yeah, so first of all, I will just ask our three amazing students here to introduce themselves. Yeah, so first of all, we have Florence. So would you like to introduce yourself?
So, hello everybody, my name is Florence and I'm currently the Vice President of AIMST Business Club, and I'm also currently in my second year of degree in Business and Marketing.
Hi everyone, my name is Chaudhury. I'm studying Accounting and Finance, year 2, and I'm the president of AIMST Business Club.
Hello everyone, my name is Gautham. I'm studying Accounting and Finance, year 1 student, and I'm the Vice President of AIMST Business Club.
Alright, so we have that entire Avengers set of AIMST Business Club here with us. Yes. So, looking at how our first ever podcast here, right? So our first episode here is called as Day 1 to Month 1 in Uni, and what no one told us about uni basically. Yes. So, we're just gonna unpack everything that, we wish someone told us, how chaotic the first month basically is, and those first day nerves, that adrenaline rush, whatever you name it, because we've all been through that, right? Yes, so I hope those who are listening, grab your drink, plug in your earphones, whatsoever it is, get on with us here. Yeah, so moving on. So we have few questions coming up for all of y'all. That is how our podcast is going to work. So,
I'm not
so
ready for it.
yes, I
Chloe
hope.
Pondrini.
Grab your chest, bro. Yes. So, first question of today's podcast. So let's rewind back. Let's go through. What was the first thing that was going through on your mind before your first day in uni? So for this, right, I would actually like to start off with Chaudhury.
Me. Okay, so the night before I came into university, actually I was staying outside AIMST with my mom. So she drove me here and then we were staying outside. So at the time, we, slept in the same room. I was excited, majorly, but at the same time, it like made me wonder what it's the uni is all about. It's like it makes me wonder about what other people's there, new environment, and also I don't even know much about this Kedah area much. So is that there's different type of stereotypes, and yeah, overall it's just a confusion that lead up to insomnia.
That's a pretty bad one, I guess. Alright. So, moving on to this pretty girl here. Florence.
Ooh, okay, so let's rewind a bit back to our first day of uni. So the night before my first day of uni, actually, honestly, I remember feeling like really excited for uni. Like this was actually it, like uni life. Like a whole new chapter was about to start at this point, and new place, new people, new beginnings, and new everything. It felt like it was the start to something very new, something very big as well. But then as I started to like pack everything, and that's when the nerves started kicking in, and that's when boom, reality hit. Like, oh, am I really ready for this? Or like, what if I don't find my friends? What if I don't find my people? Or like, what's hostel life even like? I mean, definitely everybody would have that question. Like, I had no idea on what to expect, and that uncertainty was kind of like very overwhelming, I'd say. So because this was the first time I was fully going to be alone, and that's when I was going to live independently. So it's just like me, my laptop, and my water bottle against the world. Like you didn't know what was out there. Like you had to you had to put that armor, and like you have to fight whatever comes through. So like yeah, it was exciting lah. I'm not gonna lie, but it was definitely kind of scary as well. But stepping into, because it's like you're stepping into a whole new version of yourself, So, but looking back now, I would say like it's a mix of like excitement and fear lah. But in the end, we are all still here, and it's a part of journey actually. So honestly, I wouldn't trade that feeling for anything lah. And yeah, because that moment is where change is really that's actually where change was really going to happen.
True. Agreed.
She's
I
a
mean,
goat.
yeah,
She's a goat.
she's a good, definitely.
Oh, big words, big words.
Alright, so we've had two of our seniors talk. So our little one here, yes.
Sorry lah. Sorry lah. Okay. What was the first thing that was running on my mind? Okay, I did my foundation actually over here. So that's where my first journey started. And how it is was I was sitting outside the registration area. So there was a bunch of like 100 plus of students over there with like unknown faces from different states, different countries. Like, oh my god, this is going to be challenging. Like, front, back, left, right was like, whoa, new. But, you know, like interaction sanction lah. You just have to talk with someone. But yeah, I was like, okay, new, but let's stay calm first. Let's not interact too fast. Just go through some process. Wow, there's a lot of procedures going through and there. Then after I went into my hostel, the first step, the first life, independent life. Yep, you're gonna live solo there. Everything is against the wall. Wow, I was like, when sleeping, I was just facing the wall up, stars and everything. Wow, I was like flying here and there. Wow, but the first day orientational is actually very exciting. Like everyone is wearing white shirts, formal shirts, and black tie, and like everyone are same. But we had a cup of coffee actually, like really clear up my mind, which was actually sleepy. But sorry to say, it's like very sleepy, actually tiring since we are traveling far away, and had some funny jokes, meet some new peoples, and yeah, we had some dinners. There was a lot of thoughts going on my mind, like, okay, how you're going to live now on, how you're going to interact with someone. You need to be very careful, especially with your time and money. You should spend it very wisely. So it started to grow. And when I entered degree, then yeah, it's like very normal. It's just a normal registration and everything. Yeah, just go through the process. That's all.
True. That's a cool one. Yes, I mean, there's always something. Our head is just filled with things, right? So that's completely normal to feel that. I mean, as chaos it is, our mind is. It's always like that, right? So very nice to know all those different perspectives. Our president here just had some bad starts, but eventually got a kick of it. Yeah. And Florence here was just came in with like that nerve-wracking experience, and our little one here, I think he just dreamed that entire scenario off and eventually lived up to it. Good job. So that's our first starter question. Okay, yeah, so here's a real one. Yeah. So, second, describe your first friend in uni and how did that friendship actually start? So for this, right, again, I would start with Chaudhury.
All right. Second time's the charm. But if I had to describe him, I would say I would describe that entire encounter as unexpected lah. Because I met him during the Freshies night. So once you enter into the university, we do have like a Freshies night where all the juniors will be from different faculties. They were joining together, going into like games and also some networking type of activities together. So during that time, there's one particular guy. Everybody looks normal, like they are just having their time. But this one particular guy, his energy and his aura is just radiating, with his blonde hair, and he's from Physio. And yeah, I call him Mr. J. So Mr. J, if you're watching, just comment down below. Yeah, the guy was Physio, and whenever I thought he was a bit of kind of what do you call
Introvert.
Yeah, introvert, and also he doesn't like to speak much. But when I go approach him, talk to him, he was super friendly. Immediately we clicked.
Ooh.
And after that onwards, we are just spamming each other messages, and yeah, keeping our relationship growing from that.
Cool. Alright, so who else can I ask on this? Okay, I mean, like, I keep asking, right? Maybe I would say mine, because it was irony enough. Yes, because the first friend that I was actually introduced to, right, it was through another friend of mine.
Take note, guys.
Yes, it was through another friend of mine. Who's that? Unable to reveal, but she might know who she is. Yes. Okay. So it was just on. It was during registration also, during foundation. Yes. It's always a registration. It just brings some random friendship into it. Yeah. So I just randomly got to know her. I said hi. I'm an introvert myself. I might yap a lot, but I'm an introvert, guys. Yes, I am. I am definitely. Yeah. So it was an awkward hi. I just said and hi, and then I don't know how, but eventually me, my other friend, we just ended up in her room, and we just clicked, and that was my first circle of friends. Yes, so it was a great start from my foundation, I would say. So that is how I knew her. I mean, like, she was an extrovert, and I'm an introvert. So you know the duo, how it works, right? Yes, it is what it is, guys.
It's like the extrovert adopts the introvert, and just like that, they're friends.
Yes, exactly that. So that is.
She got the point.
I got
Got the point.
Bingo. Yeah, so that is for mine. But don't worry, for both of you, I have another question coming actually. Yes.
White flag is up. White flag is up.
Alright. So moving on, right? What's that one thing you really thought that would happen in uni? Would happen in uni, but didn't at all. So for this, I will actually get Florence to answer.
Okay, so first one. Okay. Alright, so one thing that I really thought would happen in uni but totally didn't was like I genuinely thought that it was going to be those like college movies, like all those big events, those loud group of friends hanging out everywhere, those late night adventures, and then like parties every weekend, but like really happening, like happening all the time, like how you watch on college movies. But in the reality, right, it couldn't be more different, I'd say, because most of the time we were just trying to get up for our 8 a.m. classes, wearing formals,
Please.
dressed in formal wears, and still half asleep. Am I right, Gautham? Right. Yes. And it's very less about those like wild nights that you see in college movies, and it's more about like how you manage your deadlines, your due dates, group assignments, club activities on top of that, and also like how to stay sane through it all. I mean, you guys would relate. So it's more like a chaos, but a very quiet chaos. Yeah. So it's not boring though for me. I'd say it's just like a different kind of fun because you enjoy doing it, and that's where you actually start appreciating the small wins, like finishing assignment on time, and then or like just having a quiet moment in between classes, because we don't actually get that a lot. So definitely not the college movie version, I imagine, but then it's still meaningful on its own way, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do agree on that. Because like that is how we all high schoolers, when we come into uni, we'll be like, oh my god, this is how it's going to be. And when you come in, poof, gone. The reality just hits you. So it's understandable. So people out there, especially those SPM leavers, don't put much expectations. I mean, you will have good memories. You will. Don't worry, definitely, yes. But maybe the reality is tiny bit different than movies. Yeah, so it's not all
Sunshine. It's not all sunshine and rainbow. There is the highs and the lows to it.
true. Yeah, so looks like Chaudhury has something to say here.
Yes. First, I want to say to Florence, it's a wake up call for you.
Oh.
You should hang out more often.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
talking about party. You're talking about
Sorry,
going for picnic, anything.
Picnic.
Just
Oh.
let's go.
Oh, yes.
All right. So
Let's go.
since we are in the movies topic, right?
Yeah.
My one is a movie genre, but
Okay.
Indian
Oh,
movie. So
Indian.
when it comes to Indian movie, right, there's a lot of ragging happen. You know ragging?
Oh.
Yeah. So ragging is basically all those seniors, right? They want to assert dominance when it comes to this university. So what they will do is they will order you to do things, and you can't help to do because you are new here. And if let's say they try to sabotage you, this and that, you will be even more disastrous, right? So what we do is just listen to them. So I was ready for it. I was ready for it, and since I knew some martial arts stuff, so I keep some move behind my back. But then
Karate Kid lah.
yeah, Karate Kid, yeah. But then when I come to university, actually it's totally the opposite. It's always that opposite. Why? why can we not? Nah, I'm kidding. So so it's like the total opposite of it.
Yeah.
Everybody was just so welcoming, especially the seniors. They are bringing in me as their little brother, really giving me their their experience in AIMST University and what are the do and what are the don'ts. So the do, you just follow it. The don'ts, try to follow and play
Avoid
around
it
it.
lah, yeah.
So basically, guys, so listen to your seniors because they do have a depth knowledge of AIMST
Yeah.
and also other university as well.
Yes, true. So I think, Gautham, I hope we are not ragging you in any way. We
No, this
are,
is
yes,
not.
we are
Disclaimer.
taking care of him really well. Yes, yes, really well. Yeah, so that's a pretty good answer we've got here. Alright, okay. So let's move on to our next question here. So what was the most overrated piece of advice you got before university? Definitely there's a lot, especially from your mothers, for sure.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, so I think for this, right, I'll go with Florence.
Oh, first person again. Okay. Okay, so most overrated advice that I got before entering uni. Honestly, I can't even remember one specific thing because it was all so much actually, because like as a uni student, like
I
you
can
were
relate.
entering, like it was all everybody wanted to give their inputs. Like you had to just listen. Everyone had something to say. Like they'll say make the most out of every moment, or like join all the clubs, or like don't fall behind. And they even say like be yourself but also stand out. But to me, when I think about it, like pick a lane, okay? Like pick a lane, stay on your lane. Like you can advise, yeah. But I think the one that really didn't sit right with me was the idea that you have to have everything figured out when you enter uni. Like who actually came up with that? Like it made me feel like I had to already pre-plan my life when I came to uni. But I just came uni lah. Like let me live this uni life. Like yeah, I don't even know where are the classes yet, who are my lecturers and stuff. And you're suddenly putting all the advices to me. Yeah, but the thing is, you see, uni is not only about having all the answers straight away. Actually, to be honest, it's messy. But you try things, you change your mind, you might fail a little, yes, but you really learn a lot. And that pressure to have everything sorted out just takes the joy out of that experience. So what I've realized is you don't really need like a perfect plan. You just have to step out and try. And that's when you figure it out one step at a time. So if anyone tells you to have your life together from the start, just smile, just nod, and remember that it's totally okay to have things figured out. Like, yeah, to have things figured out along the way. And it's like okay to just learn as you go because everybody is going through that same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, uni is, as what our adults say, it's like the beginning of your adulthood and like the end of your teenage life, right? So that is why they put the pressure, oh my god, you should know what you're doing right now already. Just because you're stepping into like this new phase called adulthood. Yeah, so that's the thing. Students are not supposed to like entirely put your pressure on figuring things out. Yes, like what Florence said, right? It's not necessary to like figure things out. Everybody move on their own pace, right? So, I mean, like, I might be a failure right now, but eventually I'm gonna get my way out of it.
Let's go.
Definitely true. That's so true actually.
So, it just works differently for everyone. So, just because you see your friend is doing better doesn't mean that you're not gonna do any better soon. You have your own timing to come. So, yes, be patient. We will just eventually figure that out. Nice one. Yes. So, next, Chaudhury, our president.
So the most overrated that I got before, right? I mean, before that, like you both sharing, I just love the dynamics of you guys. You guys just talk about how what they call many people giving you that
giving the
inputs
inputs,
and all, but you still have to pick one and really follow towards it. So my one would be they say don't do what you call just focus on your study, don't do social stuff. So that kind of
Who
like,
said that?
wow.
Who said
I
that?
mean, yeah, this very antisocial. Maybe they are just projecting their insecurities on me, I would say. So when people, giving you some sort of advice, that doesn't matter, it's your family or your friends, make sure you know how to filter it. So that's what I, come across this conclusion when I, hear this kind of advices. So when, yes, I mean, to a certain extent, I do absolutely agree that academics does matter, because that gives you the golden ticket for you to enter into career, and that is really it's a necessity right now. A degree is a necessity, and but that's not all of it. You have to develop yourself, because it's very accessible, right now. Education is very accessible, so for you to to go beyond than that, you have to take extracurricular activities. Like especially in AIMST University, we do have different clubs. Like all of us are from business club, right? We do host events, we do like career talks sometimes, and we do previously just visited USM. So those kind of what they call events do gives us like opportunity to connect with other students other than AIMS. So that also builds, especially with the most important skills right now that all the youth needed is soft skills. And the soft skills it gives, that doesn't just gives you a good resume, but also builds a self-esteem, which really need for the students nowadays.
True. Good one. Good
Wow.
one. So, Gautham here.
Yes.
I mean, like you've heard your seniors,
Showering.
yeah, showering with advice, which probably has traumatized you so far.
Dragging me.
Yes,
Storage food already.
storage full. Yeah, but what is that one advice that that very overrated that you feel like, you know what, I'm not gonna stick to that. That
I'm not
wasn't
going to
it.
stick to that.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. I think that's a lot.
but one
One.
that is stick. It's just stuck in your head.
Wow. If it's like that, I'll say. Wait, let me think. I need time,
Sure.
You need to pick out which one is most
Which
overrated.
one?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, definitely. Okay, earlier was on mothers, right? What was one thing your father told you before you came into uni?
Because usually fathers are very strict, right?
Yeah,
They're
and
very strict.
when they tell, it's like very rare. They tell once in a while.
And it's very meaningful. So you
Yeah.
really have to follow it. If you don't, gone. I mean, not gone, sorry. Yeah.
Very truth. My father didn't say anything. He said, just study well, that's all. That's all.
That is
That's his
still
word.
overrated, guys. That is still overrated.
Similar to mine, right? Just focus on studies.
Just focus on study, that's all.
Yeah,
He's just standing.
His one is same to mine.
maybe it's just a boys' things.
My dad was just standing there watching me just signing the papers and everything. Then I was looking at him like,
I mean, that's when
I'm gonna
you
make you
actually
proud, Dad.
have your dad's trust, So that's when we actually really have to hold that trust that our parents gave us.
Responsibility, yeah. I mean, that could be like a silent nod of them, but the responsibility being thrown there is pretty huge.
yes.
So maybe that is one of your dad's overrated one, I would say. Yeah. Okay, so that is for the overrated one. That's on advice, people. Yes. Moving on. We'll go into a lifestyle sort of thing. So this question might be a very essay-like question, but don't give me essays. Okay? Our viewers here wouldn't be wanting very in-depth answers, yeah. But yeah, okay. So the question I have here, right? How did you guys actually deal with homesickness? And then, routine.
Jom balik.
Jom balik. First choice after enter AIMST.
So for this, I'm gonna let our little one here to answer first.